Hello everyone, welcome back to good old Feldy with Farmer Yip in Farming Simulator 11. We have a full combine. It has been harvesting the slope of one of our newest fields. We got a nice look over the ocean out there on this fine island of Feldy. I had autopilot in place, so I think I'm going to set it going so I can get it going, although it isn't going to budge, of course, until we empty the machine, but I can at least get it going. I can set it up. There it knows to offload, and I wanted to show a fix that I made to a mod here. We'll do it in just a second. You notice, and it's to the fast switcher. I think I commented on this in a previous episode. You notice, when I hit the left control key, and actually I've learned there's the right control key if it's needed, left control, left shift at the same time, right control, right shift at the same time. You can have up to 40 vehicles in here tagged to go to quickly. And I happen to know that this particular vehicle up here is number 8. We can look at it here, Yip Raba with medium trailer, and it'll let me go there. And it lets me do that. But the problem I had is when I would go out of game, and here, let me just come down here and I'll get them emptied. When I would go out of game, which I frequently do to, I don't know, show some script or something in modding or whatever that happens to be kind of in addition to gameplay, gotta get out of this whole thing. For whatever reason, it would cause the vehicle switcher to cease working. You pull this up. Here I can go hit 2, I can go back to my combine, and everything works. I really have enjoyed it. It takes me wherever I need to be. But the problem is as soon as I would step out of game, it quit working. I don't think I'm popping any errors. Nope, I don't think it is. So I wanted to try to fix it, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just pause it here for the moment, and I'll get out of game. Now, let me come out here first. You notice I'm kind of on my text editor here, and I'm going to zip back in, and I'm here, and I want to see if I can go to the combine. Boom, it puts me back to the combine. So I now have it working, but I want to show a little bit what I did. I don't know if anybody watching this still plays Farm Sim 11, or if you do, if you happen to have this particular mod. I think I have a link to it in the mod spreadsheet that I have. But if you do, there is a little change in there you may want to make, lest you run into this also. So let me hop out of here again, and I'll show you what it is. Alright, we are looking at the code for the fast switcher, and it's interesting. I don't know who made it. I think Decker MMIV brought it to Farm Sim 11, tweaked it or whatever, or to continue it working. But they used a curious method here, and it's I say curious. It's totally legitimate. I don't mean anything by that, but it's just hard to read, and it is in this section of code where you use key event. Most of the time, what I've seen in mods is when a key is pressed, it isn't something that is handled in here, or when the mouse, well, maybe if there's mouse work, it happens here, maybe it has to, but especially keys. Typically what you'll see is that it's called an input binding, and it'll trigger down in, let me see, do they have it? Yeah, they have update. Well, update is totally blank. There's absolutely nothing going on here. An update is something that triggers every single frame of the game. And so if there is an input binding, like if I press the key P or whatever, it will say, if input binding, and then it'll have a whole if the end statement, if when you do this, then do that. That's typically how they're set up. But this one here takes advantage, and I'm sorry, I don't know the terminology, but in key event, I I do not know basically a single thing in here other than is down. You know what? I think I can understand that. I also understand SIM or SYM. I think each key that you press has a symbol behind it that the game code recognizes. So you would see down here, this is all the mods coding, and if SIM is less than or equal to 57 or greater than or equal to 48. Well, kind of like the notations say here, this is keys 0 to 9 on the keyboard, not the keypad. This is the one on the main keyboard. So if you press one of those keys, and if you also press a modifier, which is, I think, a second key, maybe, then well, maybe I guess I don't know that for sure. But it's adding the two. If you press this key and you press a modifier at the same time, then, and if the value using this bit and I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. If the value is 64, well, then this tells the code, and I'm not going to go through it in detail, but it knows you're on the first area, vehicles 1 to 10. So someone helpfully notated this, if this particular modifier is pressed, if it equals 64, then it's left control. If it's this one, it's right control, and so forth and so on. This is kind of how, I got those in game. Well, the problem I discovered, once I put in a print, to show what the modifier is, well, come to find out, the original modifier, just printing this value, was 4160 on the first one, 4224 on the second, third, fourth, and so on. Well, when you go out of game, it changes it from what it is originally. I haven't a clue why. Now, instead of expecting 4160, when you go out of game and come back in, the modifier, for whatever reason, is going to be 4416. And I have no idea, absolutely none, as to what it means. Hopefully somebody smarter will be able to indicate what this is. It's probably just my lack of understanding of how computers work. But I'm hoping that when I reboot next time that it doesn't change, these numbers. Hopefully not. But anyway, what I put in here was a quick and dirty fix. Okay, well, if I need to step out of game and come back in, and this is a terrible way to code, but I don't know what else to do. To me, this isn't the best way to code either. Because if it changes, just by the player happening to go out of the game, and these values change, well, then your mod, no longer works. Well, that doesn't seem like a good way to code either. So all I'm doing is putting a little fix on it and saying, if there are new values, if the modifier is equal to 4416, then let's just change it here to 4160, because the 4160 is the original number that it should be versus a 4416. So it changes modifier, and then when it comes down here, it will yield the same number, when it gets into the mods coding here. And ditto on all of them. I just kind of had to, like I say, I haven't a clue what they mean. I just did some prints to the log file. So I went in game, I tried it to see and get it to print, what the modifier was, so I could see it print in the log. So that's what gave me the new values here that I'm using. All I know is it seems to work. And when it comes to modding, that's at a premium. And plus, I was also pleased that it really was fairly simple to fix. So, like I say, I don't know if anybody ever uses this mod, but if you happen to step out of Farm Sim 11 for a few minutes or whatever, then this little fix here maybe will keep the mod moving. And I've indicated I've had some other problems with the game, maybe it's my machine. Maybe it's my install, to where I have to put this in a chute. I don't know. There's been so many things I've done to this map. It isn't even totally error-free. There's a few things that are in there that I just can't quite iron out. So maybe this is a workaround fix that applies only to me. I really don't know. Regardless, let's head back in here. Our hero is finishing. And you know what? I'm just going to pull him off of this, and we'll continue it here kind of on my own. Get this last little strip kind of taken care of. And we are almost done harvesting. Actually, now we'd have both fields harvested. And I've already determined I don't want to head back down the road the way I came. I don't think I want to set up a course for to try to get the grain out of here. I think luckily it's all going to fit in a single trailer. And when we come back in here to rip the ground out, plant something else, I think the yield is about the least when it comes to canola. So, but hopefully even if we put barley in here, it would still fit in a single trailer, which I think is helpful because it means we don't really need to set up a course to haul the grain off. We did that kind of on the front field down by the Feldy sign, kind of on the hill. I'm just cleaning up the last little bits here in the field, and then we're gonna be heading back to the farm. All right, does that get everything? I think it does. All right, off goes the combine. Yeah, this is so miserable steep in here. I gotta keep the camera moving just to have the angle to see what we're doing here. Oh, all right, that wasn't much. Now, I have the trailer up here. I brought it in on the previous episode, so I'm gonna have to go. I gotta go through the pain of seeing if I can get it attached to the header trailer again. And that's another mod I kind of tore open here off cam. And this one I can't quite figure out. It has something, something similar to what we were just looking at, with the fast switcher mod, where, let's see, I gotta come in the other way, shoot. Okay. Or do I? I think, okay, no, I'm mistaken. I think I need to come in this way. It's at least relatively flat. But I think, there is a script affixed to it that has the shift Q or whatever it is to unlock it, or excuse me, to get up over there. Oh. Now, did that put it down where it's supposed to be? Maybe. Kinda, sorta. It'd be nice if the lock mechanism was from the combine, but I know that can be a little ticklish. Or if the player could walk up beside it and lock it. See, I don't think you can. Yeah, nothing. But, I think I mentioned this in the previous episode, after the escapade we had trying to get this down here. So Q attach. Now, is that attach? You know what? Is that the secret? Q. Q to attach, Q to attach the trailer. Is that on there? Let me just take a little spin here and see if I can knock it off. You know, that looks fairly stable, hey? Maybe while I'm messing around. See, what I was hoping I could do is change the input binding for locking the trailer. So if I go Shift Q, that totally releases everything. Oh, maybe that's the secret, because I think it also knocked loose. Alright, let me try Q and Q. There we go. Alright, I think I finally have the secret. QQ to lock and load here, and then to release everything, hit Shift Q. And that also releases it off of the trailer. Alright. Well, let's see if we can haul it over the rest of the journey here. And you know, I probably could just drive it over the edge right into that field, but that wouldn't be any fun now, would it? So, let me hide that. I assume it's wide enough in here. Yeah, always kind of a risky assumption. And I don't know if anybody watching this is from Scotland. Is this how some of your landscape looks, you know, where you have these corridors through rocks? Maybe only if someone blasted a hole or a passage. Well, this is a little better travels, it seems like. Ooh, watch out, pay attention, can't walk and shoot up. This is, yeah. This is not a good field, and it takes an inordinate amount of time really to come over here to harvest because they're so far off the beaten trail. But I guess I can say that at least I did it once. And, you know, it does remind me of the real-life farm that I worked on. And probably every farm has it. You know, we give it affectionate terms like the back 40, the hill field, or I don't know, whatever name you would give to it. And I know when I worked on Lone Oak, we had a couple fields that were just more difficult to get in and out of. Oh, you know, this thing's turn radius leaves something to be desired. How can I get around this corner without climbing the rock wall? Probably not. Come on, get... Alright, maybe I need to come out in here. At least I'm not overlooking a cliff. There's always some extra grass here if a guy is desperate. And we're never that desperate in here. Because technically speaking, this was kind of a secret passageway. And of course, oh, come on. And of course, anybody who downloads, that looks like a messy. It is so hard to make a smooth road. That is terrible. But I think it'll climb it. But if anybody downloads the version, the official version of Feldy, Farmer Yip didn't put this in there. This was my own messing around on the map. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this could use... I still continue to marvel at his skill at flattening roads on slopes. Yeah, this is just abominable. Wish I could do it better. But at least we do see the road that I kind of made across this field. There should be, as long as it hasn't been taken out, some grass. I know we cut it up here for grass for our cattle. So hopefully that'll be coming back in at some point. And you know what? I'm pleased we kept the header on the entire time. So that's always a good sign. And I'm trying, I don't think there's any cereal grains up that way. I kind of think it was all corn, right? So maybe I'll just keep this moving And yeah, where am I gonna need this next? Oh yeah, don't anybody look. We're knocking over a few corn stalks. I think we can afford it. Yeah, I'm so used to not really doing much corn in here, but I need to go fetch the corn header. You know what, that's another modding change I may like to make. Do you ever have, when you got two headers that fit on the combine, you know, you could carry them kind of like, you know, we're doing now, one on a trailer, the other on the front of the combine. But sometimes you don't have the trailer available, or you didn't take it with you, and it'd be so nice to be able to go pick up that header, which I left lying in a field over there. If, you know, just using a standard tractor hitch, I know you'd never do that in real life, but there's a number of limitations that we have in this game, so I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad making some other shortcuts. Alright, so I think all I need to do is shift Q to opposite, and I just need to remember QQ is what you use to hook it up. And that's good. That means I don't have to modify what it is. So, you know, I seem to recall I filled the combine up to go over to the other side of the map, and we use a lot of sauce, so not only is it a long ways over here and kind of a pain in the neck to get to, but it takes, it's probably uneconomical as well. So, time will tell what we do with these fields over here. Like I say, at least I can say that I harvested them once. And maybe I should be running a course with this. I'm trying to see, you know, maybe it isn't going to use a huge amount of fuel. I know on the other side, it basically used an entire tank of fuel to go to and from the sell point for down to the mill where you can dispose of the canola. You know, just another comment on the fast switcher mod. I'm sure I'm not the only one where mods sometimes quit working for whatever reason, or they have little errors, and you know, so I know I'm not the only one that takes them apart, tries to look at them and see what you can do to fix them. And sometimes, and I mean, not everybody is, how do I say this? I'm trying to make it sound like not everybody can do it. That isn't what I intend to mean at all. What I'm trying to encourage is for just the power of observation. That's kind of how I figured out this one here, and it was a stroke of luck, totally a stroke of luck. You know, this fast switcher thing, it's been bugging me for some time because I just couldn't figure out. It's like, okay, why does it sometimes work beautifully and then other times it just quits? And then all of a sudden I just happened to notice, hey, this happens when you step out of game. I mean, this is now, we've got over 100 episodes, it's over 100 hours on this map, maybe even 150, and it took me that long to notice and to figure out what it might be. And maybe some of it just is, I should have popped it open before, but I don't, maybe we could have figured it out. I don't know. It, because you basically just got to open it up to figure something out and start running some prints to the log. But I guess the encouragement here is just to observe what happens when you do various things. And this is where, you know, if you ever make a mod and you get a good tester, you know, with where they will try to take apart your mod, or break it rather, and make it do things, you know, that it was never intended to do. And that's part of the purpose. You know, what could go wrong? Okay, do I have anything from store to BGA? Well, that isn't quite what I want to do. Is there anything to Bale Cell? Northwest to Bale Cell. Nope, that ain't gonna do it. It's kind of on the other side. Northeast, I don't want that one either. Is this the only one I have to Bale Cell? Oh, fiddle. Okay, so I'm gonna sheep to water, but no, don't want that. Let me just go to, I think I need the store to the BGA. That'll be close enough. Alright, we'll get it going, and off it'll go. And I think I still have my rig over here to get out of the brush. We'll take that out now. Take one last look. I'm pleased we got her done. I can't say that this is my funnest field to be harvesting. Like we were talking a little bit ago, popping open mods or making further modifications to maps. What have you done? Those of you, and I know there's some people that just want to play the game and they just want mods to work. Hey, you and me both. But if there's, you know, ever, you know, you pop open, especially a map, and say, why didn't the map author do thus and thus? And so you just have to get in there and fix it yourself, change it to however you want to have it. And I guess this is one time when I did something to a map that someone else created. You know, hey, the map is perfect just the way it is, but I don't know, I had a lot of fun creating it, at least, even if I'm not having a lot of fun harvesting on it back here. I kind of created myself a monster. But I'd be curious if anybody wants to leave a comment as to what changes you've made in maps for your own, to adapt to your own style of play or whatever. Oop, oh. And the physics on these older versions of the game are just so interesting. It's like sometimes it's like a bird wanting to take flight. It reminds me of Arm Sim 09, the version before this one. I kind of think they fixed it in Farm Sim 11, but in 09 it was particularly touchy, even on attaching implements. And if you attach something the wrong way, I know everybody's probably had the experience, you could catapult your tractor or whatever practically into outer space, you know, because it didn't like how you snapped something together. It seemed like it was particularly bad with respect to front-end loaders, and if you had it sitting on the ground or on the just sitting wrong and tried to hook something up, you know, you could all of a sudden find yourself going on a flight that was not planned and might not have a good ending. Because I'm serious, it would fling you so far, sometimes you would go off beyond the map and wouldn't even land back on terra firma. Actually, you know what? I should probably just keep it down here, but you know what? I think I'm going to, I'll scratch the paint here a little bit, but I'm going to turn around here and take this back down. Oh, except stay on the road. Because, you know, right now the game is actually behaving. I think I commented on this in a previous episode. I've been having trouble with it sticking out for the half hour that I like to record. And, you know, oh my, I'm just looking at the time, and we're almost through another half hour already, kind of just moving things away from the harvest field here. And it seems to be making it. I probably should save it just to be on the safe side. Let me just park it right here. I think here's kind of a spot. But one of the things I've wondered is if, you know, maybe part of the problem was having too many vehicles all in one spot down here. I think we've all encountered, you know, where this me see if I can hire this real quick. Alright, I think you'll keep the angle. But having too many vehicles can, you know, harm your FPS. Right now my FPS is pretty low as it is, but I think that just takes more game resources. And let me go to my combine. Go to 2. Alright, we have all of our sauce. While he's going on the cultivating, I'm going to head over here. And, oh. Yeah, I'm just going to drive it down here and go find the header. Looks like our grain will enter market, or at least to the BGA. You know, I think that BGA that places automatically, I think you can sell at it. Well, let's prove it. There's the bell. Yeah, see, it adds the column biogas, and yeah, you can sell canola there. Actually, 838. Oh, it's still better at the mill. All right. Well, they're not that far apart. Okay, don't look. I just drove through the hedge. Pick it up. All right, we'll park it there for the moment and change this out. Yeah, I may need to set up another course so I can go from the store to just to help out. But even this course play is so handy, and you know it's handy. You know, from many games it was just an external mod, and here now in Farm Sim, what is it, 22? I think they started building it into the game, maybe also in Farm Sim 25. So I think even the game makers themselves saw much value in it. Seems to me I get probably the most value just going from point A to point B, but I know there's other good purposes for it too. Anyway, thank you for coming along for the episode. I think we are done with this one. I will see if I need to do some work off cam for a bit, but I think I'm going to go back to harvesting some corn. You all have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.